Hey folks, and welcome back to my vlog. Just a quick video, I guess intro video to my interview that will be coming up right after this few words that I have for you. And then you watch my, I think, 45-minute or so video, the interview video I made with John, Obese To Beast. I know his video has been already up on his channel. My hat's crooked. You guys probably seen it already over there, but people who haven't, I'm just gonna post it to my channel here now anyway, for all to see. And yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it, and if any comments or whatever you may have. Yeah, negative people, anything like that, your comments won't get too far, so don't even bother, waste your time. You all know how that works. Most of you have been awesome. Once again, thank you to all the new subscribers that came from Obese To Beast channel, and the few that came from other places as well. Like I said, you want to be here, subscribe, that's great, awesome. Please, I encourage you. Also share my video, help me get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, just to be in that special club. I don't know. I appreciate it. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, and already a couple of you actually have reached out to me, if not here, on Instagram as well, asking me, one or two people actually, for help, and asking me about the surgeries that I've been through, and they're thinking about having the surgery, and asking me questions and what I think or what I went through, and how I can help them in a couple of ways, which is great. And this is why I said I made this channel originally in the first place, is so I can help people, like, well, I'm not going to mention any names, but to help people if I can with anything, even just a simple question about what happened before or after surgery, or a certain anything. And this is why I'm making this channel, and that's why it's here. Yeah, it's also up there for me, for my own personal use, for down the road I can look back and see, you know, where I used to be, where I came from, you know, what I was able to achieve, with the help of, you know, quite a bit of people, of course, like I've told everyone already. So yeah, that's that. Enjoy the video. Please comment, subscribe, share, delete it, whatever you want to do. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of the interview, and yeah, that's that. Enjoy, and look forward to a couple other videos already in the works, a few days from now, within the next week to two, within the next week to two, as I mentioned. No idea what that was about. So yeah, which will be videos of me explaining the story of how it all started back in the beginning 5 years ago. So this should be some good videos, and yeah, enjoy the video. Sorry about the light in the back, and yeah, leave your comments and all that good stuff. Appreciate it, appreciate the support. And yeah, remember, if you're ever down, you got any issues, just keep your head up, keep fighting, and as I always say, keep on swimming. Thank you.
All right, so we have a very special treat for you guys today. I'm very excited about this. So we're going to be talking to my friend Tommy, who at his highest weight was over 900 pounds. Over 900 pounds. I actually met him because he was here in a live stream, and he just was commenting. He was like, yeah, I used to be 900 pounds. I was like, dude, wait, what? You used to be 900 pounds? He was like, yeah. And so we've kind of started talking, and he was super interested in doing an interview on a live stream. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's talk to Tommy. What's up, dude? How you doing, bro?
Hey. All right.
Tommy,
Good
thank you.
you.
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the channel and doing the interview, dude.
For sure, for sure.
All
Thank
right,
you
so
for having me.
Of course, man. So the
It's,
first question
wow,
that
it's a
I
pleasure.
Of course, you know, I'm super happy to have you here. So the first question, I think the most important one that I'm going to ask you today is, so you were at 910 pounds. So why not get to 1,000, bro? I'm just.
I'm a quitter.
You were so close, man. You were so close.
Trust me, I've heard that before. Not in a positive way, but from the haters saying I was a quitter. Why didn't might as well not made it to 2,000? That's hilarious, bro.
I had to do the joke. As much of a dad joke as it was, I had to do it. I couldn't help myself.
All good, man.
So okay, so you kind of you came into my live stream probably, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and you were kind of just telling, saying that, hey, I was at 900 pounds, 910 pounds at my heaviest, and so that's unbelievable, right? Like that's so, and the thing is like I've seen, like, you sent me like pictures and I saw the weight, at the top of the chart it says 910 pounds. So I mean, first off, I believe you that you were that large. So I think like what I want to do is start at the beginning, like before you decided to lose weight, or it was almost like forced upon you or whatever. Before that moment, like how did you like get up to being that large, right? Like I would love to know the backstory of that.
Sure, of course. Okay, well, I was always bigger, even as a kid, growing up. So even like even in the 2, 3, 4 growing up, I was always bigger than normal students my age and stuff like that.
And how old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Right, I'm 44.
Okay.
And the weight issue really didn't start until after high school, after '95. That's when things started getting more and more extreme for me, let's say. But the weight, it never, of course it bothered me, but it never got to the point where I reached 500 pounds or 550, 600 pounds that didn't do nothing because it was hard. I still kept going. I still worked. I ran my own business, couple of businesses. I managed friend shops, so it never get to me, but it still kept going into my 30s, mid 30s, until it got to my late 30s where the crap hit the fan.
So
where it pretty much came to the point where I was still going up until 800 pounds. I was still going out. I was still driving a car.
Really?
Yeah, what really got me down was I got this lymphedema mass growth that grew between my legs, sort of, and it acted like as an anchor. It got so big. It was almost pretty much about 150 pounds at its
Holy
biggest.
Crap, dude.
And it got hanging for an upper. Pretty much it was dragging on the ground, and that was it. I no longer could do the going in and out and doing my thing. So I ended up being stuck at home for 3 years before I got help, and ended up going to get the help in the hospital, which we'll touch on.
Yeah. So before we get to that point, I'm just kind of curious about what were your eating habits, and when, like, I know that you said you noticed it when the lymphedema started, becoming really bad. But was there a time when you're 500, 600 pounds where you were like noticing, that your weight was causing a problem, or was there ever any fear? Because what's crazy to me is that when I was at my heaviest, I was 20 years old and I was like 360, right? And I was genuinely terrified of like being home alone, because I was like, if I have a heart attack or something happens, I don't know. Like, no one will be here, right? And so, did you ever have those thoughts or like anything like that?
No, I always felt, I almost want to say invincible, because I knew I was still able to go out and do things, do anything I wanted with my friends. Yes, there were certain limitations that I wasn't able to, or when you're that size, when you go out with friends, it's like, oh, that chair, is that gonna hold?
Yeah.
Will I fit in it? Will it break? I'm sure you've been there, done that.
I've broken many chairs, yes.
So there's a lot of things like that, and I was always really healthy. Never had no health issues, even when I was 600, 700, 800 pounds. Nothing, not even high blood pressure, nothing. So I almost felt invincible, saying, "Yeah, I'll get a horse one day, no problem, no problem." I'm still able to do it. I'm not like those people you see on my 600-pound life show. That they're 500, 600 pounds and they can't move. They're stuck in bed. they got people doing everything for them. No, it was never like that for me. Not even at 800
Wow.
pounds.
Dude, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but like that is unbelievable to me that you were literally like 100 to 200 pounds heavier than the people on my 600-pound life, and you are still saying I'll never be like them. Like that blows my mind. That is that's crazy.
You got to have the mentality. If you give up, you lay down and give up, and you don't keep going just because it's hard, just because it's tough, you're going to end up in that bed.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends, I got places to go and do, and I wanted to go and not. So I know if I stopped, that was it. You know what I mean? I was still, early to mid 30s, so I was still, even though I was really high, I'm 6'3", I'm really big frame, so I carried the weight well as well. And people never, even when I was 700 pounds, I had people guessing, what do you think I weigh? Never had to guess more than 450.
Wow.
Because the way I carried the weight,
Mm-hmm.
and where, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're
So
taller.
I was,
You're a
I
little bit
was,
taller
I
as
was
well.
lucky that way. And as I gained the weight and I didn't give up, the same way my muscles were getting stronger
Mm-hmm.
and being able to hold my weight. The weight was gaining, but so were the muscles.
Yeah.
So leg muscles, the core muscles, as much you couldn't see them,
Yeah.
but they were beastly.
Okay, so you said you had the was it lymphedema or was it lipedema?
Yes. Yeah, lymphedema.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you had the, because there's two that are like very close.
Yeah.
So when did you start noticing that kind of becoming an issue?
I started noticing it. It was a small growth and just slowly get bigger and bigger. I did go see the family doctor for whatever appointments and stuff, but I never mentioned it, thinking,
Yeah.
I'll lose weight, and you know what I mean? They get
Mhm.
bigger and bigger, and I just didn't. For some reason, I didn't start worrying about that until it was getting really bad, where it got really, really big, and I was having problem getting in the car and being able to just close the door because I couldn't close my legs, and I was forcing it open. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then it got to the point where all kinds of open sores started happening, got really, really painful, and it got to the point size-wise that I was no longer able to drive. And like I said, once you stop, it just snowballs,
It just
and that's
yeah.
exactly what happened. I was no
So-
longer able to go out.
Mhm.
December of 2012 was the last time I went out until the time I spent 3 years right down here. I was still, even though I was that big, I was still managing to waddle my way from my bed to couch to washroom. That was it.
Mhm.
I was still not stuck in bed, will not lay down. So I was still getting out of my bed after a night's sleep, get to the couch, wasn't doing much, but I was still at least trying to do that.
So what was the moment that you were either you decided to lose weight or you were like forced to lose weight? Tell me about that kind of story.
All right, well, like I said, the pain and the open sore started getting really bad with the lymphedema. Couldn't take it anymore, and I right there I knew I needed some help, because I knew eventually it'll get big enough where I could not even get out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, a year or two before I got stuck at home, I went to a friend's cottage. I met a girl there, and became Facebook friends, whatever, blah blah blah. And while I was stuck in my room already down here, I saw her make a Facebook saying, "Congratulations to John for doctor something something." I'm like, wait, she knows this doctor, and it's a hospital local to me. Turned out it was her stepdad, and he was the chief general surgeon at this hospital. And I reached out to her and said, "Listen, I got this and this problem. I need help." I said tumor at the time. I didn't know what the heck it was. And she's like, "Oh my God, why?"
Was that hard for you to like reach out to someone and because it seems like you seem to be a very like you like to do things your own, you like to be self-sufficient,
do.
you like to
I do.
you know what I mean, you seem like a very like iron-willed kind of person.
Yeah,
And
I
so
like to be in. Go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, you like to be in control, it seems like. So was it hard for you to kind
Yes.
of be like, hey, this thing has gotten out of control and I need help here?
Yeah, 'cause I hate asking for help. I like doing things myself. And but I finally came to the point where I said, you know what, Tom, you can't.
Mhm.
And just from the pain I was in and the struggles of just doing the basic things I had to do, I couldn't. So I saw that post by her, and thank God that I did. I tell her every day that I don't know, I probably would not be here today if I did not magically see that miracle post.
Mhm.
So she texted her dad and said, "Let me see what I can do." A couple of days went by. I messaged her. She's like, he didn't know what to say. He said, "You know what? Just call the ambulance, non-emergency phone line. Get them to bring you down to the hospital in the emergency department. We'll take it from there."
And so this was at your heaviest weight.
Yes.
Okay. So you give them
December 10, 2015.
December 10th, 2015. Okay. So you
11
give
a.m.
them the call and then what happens after that?
The ambulance people send out a team to my house to assess my living situation, where I am, how can they get me out of the house, stuff like that. They came in, checked everything out. All right, then they called in pretty much within half an hour, fire department to get some strong guys. Yeah, clearly, and yeah, they said, all right, well, ready to go. I'm like, now really? Like, I was like, yep. I'm like, okay. So they got me up to get the stretcher. I had to get out to the stretcher outside. They couldn't bring the stretcher in the way the stairs and everything are. So basically, they put this like a bed sheet or whatever they used on my bed,
Mm-hmm.
and they just used that as a you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grabbed all around, just picked me up and like.
So were you not able to walk at this point?
I was, but they told
Okay.
me don't.
Okay.
So because then when I get outside, I would have to get on a stretcher, and it was just easier for them since I'm already laying down for them to just boom,
Mm-hmm.
And got on the stretcher, and I did. Rachel, I sent a picture. I have one picture where them loading into the ambulance there.
Yeah, we're gonna put after once the video's up, we'll have pictures over the video and stuff. So.
Sure, awesome. So we left around 11 o'clock or so, 11:30. We got there. The hospital's not too far. Pull into emergency, and everyone's just there with the fire department pulling in with me, and all the doctors and nurses are just like, okay, who told you to come here? Why you were here? Am I thinking, what do you mean why I'm here? What do you think I'm here? Bored.
I'm bored.
Yeah. And they said, who told you to come here and this? And the doctor, the emergency doctor was like being really rude.
Mm-hmm.
Like really rude about it. I said, I dropped the doctor's name. I don't want to mention names.
Yeah, it's fine.
He's a chief general surgeon at this hospital. I'm sure you've heard of him. He's like, oh yes, Dr. So-and-so. I'm like, yes. He's like, I'll talk to in Messenger or Facebook with the daughter. He's like, oh, so just because this girl told you on Facebook to come over here, I'm like, did you just not understand? He said, this is daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor himself, told me to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't just shut right up. He made a phone call to the doctor, and next thing you know, I'm being checked in, VIP to the front of the line, and 12 hours later, I'm upstairs in my own room, starting my journey.
That's unbelievable that the doctor acted like that.
I got really lucky. I got really, really lucky by meeting that girl, and that girl reaching out to his to dad and him. Unbelievable doctor, unbelievable staff. Everybody that's been involved has been absolutely. I've had a lot of help, but I'm gonna have to put some effort in on just a little bit.
Yeah. So you get there, you are there for the first day. Like, kind of tell me. So what happens after you get your own room? Where does that lead you to?
Yeah, we had a private room. This hospital was just brand new, literally opened 2 months before I got there. It was the most high tech hospital in all of Canada, everything automated, robots, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And get in my room. I'm like, oh, I'm here. Millions of doctors in and out all day, already in emergency, coming to see me, telling the same story over and over, how I get here, why I'm here, blah, blah. I'm like, really? I just explained it to like 10 doctors.
Mm-hmm.
So, settled in. Like I said, it took about 12 hours from 11:30 in the morning to get upstairs around 11 p.m. or so. And by that time, it was, sleep time. They gave me whatever, some pain meds and whatever else to, bandages, this and that. It goes, get some sleep because tomorrow's another day, and expect a lot of doctors, a lot of specialists. And yeah, I ended up meeting that doctor that, the daughter that I know, the girl that I know, his father.
So what were the first steps once you started? Did you start a treatment? Like, how did you? Because I know you've lost a lot of weight, right?
Yeah.
So take me through that journey then.
Now, I was telling all the doctors that the reason I went there was because of the lymphedema. Wanting, what can I do? Can we, is it surgery? Get rid of it. If that was gone, I'd be okay. I'll be okay again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking if that was gone, that was my obstacle, I'd be able to get back in my car and go.
You were just hoping, let's get rid of this mass thing that I have on me, and then I'll be out of your hair, kind of thing. Okay.
First thing he told me, first of all, no doctor in their mind at 910 pounds will put you to sleep unless absolute emergency.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to lose some weight. I'm like, okay. How long I just wanna go, okay, let's go. How long this is gonna take? How long you think it's gonna take me to lose the weight? What weight do I have to be at before we can do the surgery? Like, let's go, let's get at it. And they said it could take, a year and a half. Depends. I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking that's.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted like yesterday, today, like I wanted to just do it like I'm me, always just do and go, right?
Yeah.
And they suggested to me I need to start losing weight, so they put me on a 1,200 calorie a day diet,
mm-hmm.
very low carb, high protein. See how it goes. See how I lose the weight. Lots of water. I'm like, okay, let's try it. Let's do it. So got on that. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, one snack, protein snack. Make sure I had enough protein. And we started slowly day by day. I was able to get the weight measurement because the bed had luckily a weight limit of 1,000. I asked him, I go, what's the bed weight limit here on the scale? He's like, 1,000. I'm like, should be okay, no problem.
I'm nowhere close to that.
No way, not even. Come on. 910 pounds. I'm like, what? Wait, what? Is anybody else standing on this bed, or you know what I mean? But yeah, so we started going, and like I literally barely had a week before we had a weigh-in result, and my first 10 days I lost 110 pounds.
Jeez, dude.
Believe it or not. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe it. I'm like, nah, that can't be right. Obviously, a lot of water weight, just like with everybody first week or two.
That has to be an unbelievable amount of water weight. But I wonder how much the lymphedema kind of plays into that as well. Because I mean, I have no reference. Like I've never dealt with anyone that's lost, that was at almost 1,000 pounds. So
yeah. I mean, everything starts shrinking once you start losing weight really slowly, and as the lymphedema mass, right?
Mm-hmm.
It like I said, the weight started going like really, really quick.
So okay, so before we go further, you talked about how you were eating 1,200 calories, so like they put you on a 1,200 calorie diet. Now I know we're gonna kind of take a step back, but like I this is me just being genuinely curious. So when you were at like your heaviest, have you ever thought about like how many calories you were eating at that point, like before you went into the hospital?
No, and you know what? And it wasn't like, as you see on, like I mentioned in the show, My 600 Pound Life, you see them eating out all the time, fast food. No, it wasn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. It would be a pizza, wings, split with family, whatever. Other than that, no ordering out, no fast food. It was all home-cooked food. I'm Hungarian, by the way, born and raised. So our food is, really lots of carbs, lots of fat, lots of good stuff. But still, I did not. I was still eating 3 meals a day. Breakfast, and it wasn't like mounds and mounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, believe it or not, it was not. And even lunches and dinners, it's probably more than what an average person would eat. But honest to God, it wasn't like 10, 20,000 calories.
Mm-hmm.
It was weird with my metabolism, and did have some thyroid issues, right, as well, which caused me some issues. But yeah, it was nothing like what you've seen on TV. People always eating out, and yeah, I was drinking probably a 2-liter bottle of pop a day. A lot of sugar, which turns into, well, we all know,
Mm-hmm.
which that didn't help. That was a big thing on my part, was a 2 liter of pop, soda pop, as I don't know how some of you Americans might call it,
Yeah, yeah. No, I call it
but
soda. I'm
soda,
normal.
yeah.
I'm normal. Okay. So let's go back to the hospital. So you
Right.
lose 110 pounds in 10 days. Take us a little bit further from there.
As the days go on, it's still constant doctors in and out and checking on me, and finally get to meet this magical doctor that made this all possible for me. And he told me, he suggested me gastric bypass surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Saying if you want to get to your goal and get that lymphedema mass removed, you need to lose weight, and to get to that goal, you really want it, this will help you. Just think about it, while you're losing a lot of weight with the diet itself. Now, thought about that, and I'm like, how long do you think it will take? He's like, year. I'm like, yeah, that's not good. I wasn't okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
9 months, 400 pounds. So I entered the hospital, and 9 months later, I was having the gastric bypass surgery at 510 pounds.
So in 9 months, you lost 400 pounds.
400 pounds.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you were in the hospital the whole time.
Yeah. I went in December, and around February and March, they said, okay, well, we're gonna discharge you, send you home. Continue doing your thing at home. But the ambulance people that brought me attempted to bring me home, because the way the house is laid out and the stair situation, they couldn't get the stretcher in. It just would not go. They tried and tried, and I was having a lot of pain. And they said, no, we're going right back to the hospital. This should not even release you, because this is just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And the chief ambulance guy said, because if we can't get him in the house, we're bringing him back. So keep this room, save this room, just in case. Yeah, sure enough, an hour later, I'm back in my hospital room.
How was that? What was that like? Was that tough?
Going back,
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave in the first place, because
Oh, okay.
I was already starting to get scared, and I knew the help there, what I was getting, is tenfold better than what I'd be able to follow and do at home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really happy to go back, actually.
Okay. So it wasn't like you were super excited to go home and then
No,
it didn't
not at
happen.
all.
Okay.
I was not at all, actually, not at all.
Okay.
Neither was my family, because I was still in pretty rough shape, and just worried and scared about that, many things. And so it was a blessing that they weren't able to bring me in
Mm-hmm.
back home. And they said,
So
no problem, you stay, and continued on with the diet, and eventually got the physio involved, doing whatever bed exercises I could. Like I told him, listen, I could probably get out of bed, and he's like, no, we cannot have you, even though you're able to do your waddling at home or whatever. We can't have you here. You fall, something happens,
Yeah.
liability issue, all that stuff. So we just stuck to bed exercises, and that was the problem. Like I mentioned before, once you stop, your muscles just go downhill, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I lost all my muscle mass in my leg. In bed for a year, I lost like everything. I had to relearn. I had to relearn to walk again, to train my muscles to walk again. Everything. I have all on my YouTube channel. I have documented over 75, 80 videos probably on my journey from almost beginning up until when I was released from the 3-month rehab that I stayed after the hospital. Over 2 years combined stay at the hospital and then in the rehab hospital where I was able to get my muscles back in form. And yeah.
So you were at the hospital for 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years. It was about a year and like 8 or so months plus like 3 months of another hospital I got transferred to once I was down to I think 475-ish the horsepower, 475-ish pounds. Because even these places have certain limits, like their Hoyer lifts can only take so much weight. Their doorways can only take so much people, so they have to be a certain weight qualified to get in there. So I had to get to a certain point where even they had to come and see me and interview me at the hospital, thinking if I'm able to get into the wheelchair by myself, which at that point got strong enough with the physio at the hospital to manage myself to get out of bed and get over to the wheelchair and be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But still wasn't enough to where I can get up, walk on my own, and so all that had to be done at rehab with the swimming pool, which is another blessing. The swimming pool is absolute.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk about that. So you're at the hospital for a year and like 8 to 9 months, and then so what was the experience like at that rehab center? Like what were you doing and stuff like that?
The experience was, at first it was sad to leave the hospital because all the doctors.
That's a year and 9 months of your life right there, man. That's of course.
They became my second family.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew me or started to know me at that hospital. Even when I went back, had many visits that I returned for other issues that we can touch on later. Been hospitalized and had a bunch of surgeries after. I lost the weight, so when I would go back, it's like, hey, Thomas, everybody, it was great. It sucked to leave, but I knew going to this rehab hospital is the next step that I had to take, and it was a good thing for me because it's going to get me back behind the steering wheel of a car, and I am a car junkie, love cars, racing, all that stuff, and that's the first thing I wanted to do is be able to drive again.
So that like driving was almost like your North Star kind of thing.
That was it.
Yeah. So you get to the rehab center, and what are you doing? Like, are you like going on walks with people? What kind of things are you doing there?
At that point, I still wasn't able to walk without a walker. Started with walking with walkers. A lot of pool every single day. A couple hours in the pool. Because it takes the weight off your legs.
Absolutely.
So you start more in the deep end. And then as, week to week goes by, you get into the more shallower end and bearing more weight and stuff like that, different exercises, walking with a walker, arm exercise bike, pedal bikes. And the thing is, when we started doing in the hospital, an arm bike, once I was able to get to the gym in the hospital, I tore my bicep muscle and 2 of the 4 rotator cuff muscles in my right shoulder when I started doing like the exercising. Yes, I went too hardcore, wanting to just let's do it, and I injured myself, and still to this day I have issues, fully lifting this arm, it popping out sometimes, but I didn't care, give it rest, and I'm like, okay, well I gotta keep going, I gotta build it. If I stop again, I'm not going back to where I was. Not happening.
So when did you? Because I know you talked a little bit about a gastric bypass.
Yes.
So when did you end up getting that, or did you end up getting that?
That was in August of 2016.
Okay.
I was scheduled to have it one done, and the night of, around midnight, I was supposed to have surgery at 6 in the morning. Around midnight, I started feeling really hot and thinking, I'm like, man, the nurse was like, oh, you're just nervous. I'm like, I go, no, there's something, I feel something. I know my body. Took my temperature. I'm like, whoa, I was like, serious. I got some kind of a stupid infection that came over me, and the surgery had to be canceled because like we can't put you under. You have a fever, number one, and whatever infection, you cannot. So it got postponed about, I think it was a week or 2 weeks. So August 28th, I had the finding that I had the surgery done.
Okay. And then so that was before. Was that before you went to the rehab place?
Oh yeah. Rehab was after everything was done.
Okay, so you're at the hospital.
Sorry.
You're at the hospital. You lost weight, and then you got gastric bypass, lost more weight, and then you ended up going. You went to the rehab place after that. Okay, I just wanted to get the timeline correct.
I was 5'10" when I got the gastric bypass, and after gastric bypass, I lost about 200 pounds now to date, I guess.
Okay, and so how long were you at the rehab place? You said like 4 months.
So July, August, September, 3 months, just
3
shy
months.
of 3 months.
Okay, and so tell me about like what was it like? What was it like, you know, going home and like no longer being in the hospital at rehab? Like, what was that like for you?
Man, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It was absolutely unbelievable knowing that. I'm like, I can't believe it's, first of all, I can't believe it's been 2 years. And when I was driving home, I was looking at myself. I'm like, gosh darn it, seatbelt, it fits
Yeah.
with this much room.
Yeah.
Spare. I was just outside the fresh air.
Yeah.
Everything was just, wow, this construction or this building wasn't here when I went in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Everything, just coming home and being able to sit on that couch that I sat on the last time I was on it when I was 910 pounds. That was kind of hard.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to sleep in my own bed after 2 years. Everything was just incredible. It was so weird. I'm like, I'm not hearing hospital bells, the nurses coming in and out several times a day. It was peace. It was quiet. I was able to think to myself, plan, strategize, do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable, but it was weird at the same time, as you can imagine, right?
I mean, I can't imagine. So that like the only thing I can think of that would be similar is it's almost like you were in a coma, but you were still awake. You know what I mean? Because like the outside world was changing, but your world was not. And like, oh, dude, man, that's wild.
Yeah. I mean, in a coma, I guess you wouldn't know what was going around you, but you
Yeah.
know, I was there in reality, and the pain, the struggles, the times where I cried and wanted to give up. Well, obviously I didn't. But
Well, okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Why didn't you give up?
I didn't want to die.
Hmm.
I wasn't even 40 years old yet. Well, at the time, I went in when I was 39 in December, about to turn 40 in January, and I came out when I was 41. So went in 39, came out at 41. Spent 2 or 3 whatever birthdays, 2 Christmases. Yeah. So I didn't want to die. I didn't want people on those TV shows.
Yeah.
I had a lot to live. I had more than half my life probably still left.
Yep.
And I'm not the one to give up and lay down and just whatever. Nah, ain't happening.
Yeah, I'm obviously I'm very happy that you took that step.
Thank you.
So how much do you weigh now?
Well, 310.
So you weigh 310 now. So that is what is that? Oh man, that's 600 pounds.
600 pounds.
Jeez, man. 600 pounds you've lost, and okay, so you've lost 600 pounds.
It might be a little bit more, like give or take.
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 pounds, whatever. Haven't weighed, but yeah.
So you've lost 600 pounds. What would you say you feel like you've gained the most with this whole experience?
My life.
Hmm.
Gain my life back. Just the knowledge of of proper healthy eating, and just an outlook on life, knowing that most people taking it for granted for certain things, like for you that average person, it's an everyday thing to get in a car, walk around the block, go to the mall, or you know what I mean. It's just I learned to value life and value chances and opportunities. And
So yeah, I mean, I can't. Something that I say a lot, that I've said before, when I was at my heaviest, like I felt like I was just like I didn't feel like I was living. I felt like I was existing, and
exactly.
I mean, it's funny because I look back at me saying it and it almost sounds silly because like you truly at your heaviest were literally just existing from what, at least from what you've explained to us here.
Yeah, trying to exist to the point where I'm not yeah, kitty, sorry, where to the point I'm not just sack of potatoes just laying there.
Mm-hmm.
So at least be able to do the minimal thing, knowing that hey, I can still go to the washroom, believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
on my own. And yeah, I couldn't do stairs and go upstairs and get my own food, of course, but luckily I had great family and great support. Mom, dad, sister. I don't know how
It's
much.
it's crazy hearing, like it really feels like you got, I don't want to say lucky, but the fact that you went into the hospital when you did, like, because like you said, like you were still able to move a little bit, but say something happened, say you tripped, say something just little
It's
went
happened.
wrong,
It
you
has happened. I've fallen and I fall and I can't get up. You know what I'm
uh
saying? Yeah, it happened,
yeah.
and I was not able to, and I was had to call for help. Had to call firefighters.
Jeez, man, really.
As much as it is ashamed of, I didn't want to. I tried. I spent 2 hours on that floor. I'm like, do not call the goddamn fire department.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna get up. But I tired myself out trying so hard that it was just like I came to the point. It's like, you know what? Let me get like 6, 8 hours sleep here. I'll sleep on the floor. I'll wake up fresh and I'll do it. And they just would not allow me. It's like, there's no way, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give up. Even that to that point, I
Mhm.
didn't want to give up.
Yeah.
Just with that.
So okay, so let's talk about now. So you've lost 600 pounds. Like, what are your goals now? Like, what do you want to do? What are you striving for? Like what pushes you now?
Um. Well. Right now, I got a big thing in my life I'm working on. Is I'm trying to start a business with a partner of mine. Like literally, like he's flying back to Indonesia. We're gonna be dealing between there, Canada and U.S. As an import-export business, a bunch of different products. He's flying out next Friday. Like today, I just rushed back, barely made it here home for this live.
Mhm.
All week, 2 weeks has been hectic, but we've been working on this steady. Would have started sooner, but I landed in the hospital. Can't run a business like that.
Mhm.
That was my huge motivations, knowing the opportunity at hand, the connections that I have here, he has there, put them together to do it. Huge potential, and there's a huge things are coming. But without me losing the weight, I could not do it.
Mhm.
Number one was my health and life, obviously, and number two was get paid.
Mhm. Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't live very much if you don't have any money. Um, so what does your like routine look like now as far as like food and exercise? Like, what are you doing now to kind of keep the weight off?
I basically now, ever since like gastric bypass surgery, very limited to eating food. It's usually very limited to they say, oh, you can't eat this because oh you'll get sick. Or, everyone's different. I got pretty lucky. The only thing that really bothers me is rice.
Mhm.
Eating rice, even that I can manage. But if I eat it too fast or whatever, but I have no problems with any foods. I've cut out the pop. Even with diet pop, they say it's not good to have it after gastric bypass because it could stretch your stomach and this and that. Some doctors say it's okay, but a lot of things after the surgery, I just got turned off from certain foods that I just don't even crave it. Like pizza and wings were like my favorite go-to. The wings, I'm not gonna lie, I still love, I still go for, but pizza is just like
Mhm.
once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
or home cooked meals or whatever, great, anything. But it's recently it's been one meal a day.
Mhm.
I know it's because stress from the business or whatever. It's not because I don't want to eat. It's just no appetite or So I try to when I do have that one meal, I try to make it count.
Yeah.
So watching the calories and what I eat. So I don't say, oh, I can't have that, or no way, oh no, that's a little piece of cake or that's a slice of pizza. No,
Mhm.
I don't deprive myself. And I always said, people, even if you're on a diet, don't deprive yourself you deprive yourself and just eat rabbit food all day, you're just gonna snap and lose it, and then one day you're just gonna go back to just
Yeah.
fulfilling those cravings that you trying to squash. So
Mhm.
I always looked at this way, even though I was on a strict diet in the hospital. One Saturday, every Saturday, my mom would come visit, bring me a home cooked meal, or whatever I wanted, whatever she had, and that was my thing. Be good all week. Look forward to knowing you're good all week. You can have that treat meal on Saturday. And I always told people too, don't deprive yourself. You really want that Big Mac? Bro, just be good all week and treat yourself to that Big Mac.
Mhm.
Fries if you must on a Saturday. Don't make it a cheat day
Yeah.
because you can get into a lot of trouble with a cheat day.
Yeah.
Just have that one meal. And knowing that you did good, give yourself a pat on the shoulder, back, whatever, and then right back at it. Another whole week. Next week, look forward to that slice of pizza.
Mhm.
You do it even if you're a Big Mac combo or whatever. You're not gonna go thousands and thousands of calories. You do that, you cut your dinner out, or cut your dinner down, or your breakfast down, but you're gonna enjoy that lunch or Big Mac, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to fitness and weight loss, you are the sum of what you do the most, right? And so if what you do the most is eating healthy, and every once in a while, and like when I say once in a while, like literally once in a while, not all the time, right? You have a little bit of a treat, or you have something that is, not considered healthy, whatever that even means.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
I'm glad you agree with that, man.
Yeah.
Because if you deprive
Absolutely.
yourself, like I said, eventually you're just only so much you can take, and you're gonna
Mhm.
snap, and you're gonna binge, and once you start binging, you're just gonna keep going. Oh, just one more day, or just one more. Oh, just one more meal, one more day, and
Mhm.
it's never gonna stop.
Yeah. It
In
is
most cases.
yeah, it's definitely a slippery road to go down, like when if you just allow yourself nothing. I know that for some people it can work, but there's also for some people it's too much, and it leads to, like you said, like binging, and it definitely can lead to some other kind of like scary things. Okay, so
Yep.
before we end, I want to ask
Yep.
you one question, and this
Sure.
is kind of something that I ask everyone whenever I do these interviews. Is if you could say like one thing to someone that might be in your position when you were starting, um, and they wanted to change, what would you say to them, or even to yourself when you were at your starting weight?
Well, I've told myself a lot of things I probably can't repeat on camera, but so let me just say what advice or what I would say to somebody who's in my situation, or well, probably not my situation, but being big, and don't be scared to get help.
Mhm.
Don't let it get to the point when it might possibly be too late, because you might not be as lucky to be as healthy and strong as I was.
Mhm.
Um, and just don't be scared to get help. There's a lot of sources out there, and this is another reason why I really started my YouTube channel. And thank you for bringing this up. Is I wanted to get my point out to people, and people who were in my situation, is to show them that it's possible. Look
Mhm.
at my size, that I didn't give up and I was able to do it. I've had many people say, "Man, Tom, if you were able to do what you did at your size, me doing 60 pounds, losing 60 pounds would be nothing." And I have a lot of people that in my old videos, you can read comments that I've touched and affected a lot of people, and then local people here have contacted me through saying, "Hey, my sister has this and this. We saw your story. What hospital did you go to?" Because we tried 2 hospitals local, and they pretty much boom. I made the text message to the hospital director who I made good friends with, where I stayed. He just laughed at me. He goes, "Haha, bring it. Tell her to come. What's her
Mhm.
name? She gets here, it'll be ready. She'll be ready to get registered and everything."
Wow.
And that was the reason my I wanted to make the YouTube channel and try to grow my YouTube channel, is to be able to help those people that in situation that I'm in or was in.
Mhm.
And that's what I want, because I know how hard it is. I didn't know who to turn to or
Mhm.
where to get help, and I got lucky. And I want to pass that luck on. Is you want to just message me, call me, see me. I'll be there. I'll try to help because I got the help.
Yeah.
So never give up. Never ever give up. Don't ever think there's no help out there. You know, I had help, and I was pretty much just a lost cause.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always something out there. You just need to ask. Reach out. Don't be scared to reach out. If you can contact me. My email address, anything. I'll be glad to help. Either you're local, you're out. I've been there, done that, and I'd love to help. And there are a lot of other people, I'm sure, just like yourself, and I'm sure you've helped a lot of people. Speaking of, before we end, I was in that hospital bed watching your videos, bro, and you were my inspiration. I looked up to you so hardcore that I'm like, I remember you making videos about your loose skin and you had no shame. You didn't give up. You know what I mean? And I said, I can't wait to get to the stage where you are and have the flabby skin. Most people would be like, oh God, I don't want that. And that shows you got all that loose skin that I got. That shows positive that you did something good for yourself. You didn't give up and you just fought and fought. And that's why you got that loose skin, is because you achieved something big and good. And I was there watching your videos, and you and I'm not sure if you know Furious Pete.
Yeah, of course.
He's my Canadian bro here who I tried to get in touch with, and I huge motivation guy to me as well. Actually, the hospital director tried to get in touch with him through email. We're successful. Mel Diva, his girlfriend, wife, they got in touch with him, and then he passed the email on to me. Started talking to her to do like a video chat and stuff, but then he had the whole cancer issue started.
Yeah.
That got whole. I didn't bother. I just let him be, and it's still my dream to also talk to him as much as it was you. I have a chance to talk to you, knowing that it's your videos and you that just, kept me going, and knowing that that's gonna be me one day. And bro, thank you.
No, thank you for sharing that. It's cool to hear that, but the thing is like that I always tell when everyone says something like that, it's like you did all the work. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate that maybe I was able to be a part of it, but like I didn't do anything for you, right? Like you had to take the steps that you had to take. And so I appreciate you sharing that, man, and I appreciate you sharing your journey, dude.
And I just appreciated, being able to watch somebody who, I saw your biggest. I saw me, near the end of high school. I'm like, yeah, I was there a long time ago. I could have stopped at that size and lost, I did actually get down to about 400 something pounds on my own, doing this low carb diet that some doctor here offers, private clinic. Lost the weight, and then it was expensive. It was like $600 a month. I couldn't continue, and it just, weight went right back, and that's where, yeah. But anyway, your videos and your just no giving an F about what other people attitude think of you was like, yeah, that's me. I see this kid as me. Sorry, not calling you a kid. You know what I mean?
It's all good. I'm a kid to you, so.
You're in your what, late 20s?
Yeah.
No disrespect. But yeah, I mean, it was. I did all the work as you said, but you motivated me a lot. Like I said, along with Pete, and yeah.
Thanks, dude. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story, dude.